Alright, so it looks like we're almost out of our lockdown. I heard from my local little hangout there, the pub, where I have my lunch, and they'll be opening up on Monday with some rules, you know, the distancing and only X number of people allowed in, which it is a small place, so yeah, it's not going to be a packed house, but at least they're opening up again. So anyway, I got another project going here, and I thought I'd share it for a few people that might be interested, which probably won't be a hell of a lot, but I'm going to do it anyway. And since YouTube keeps hiding my videos and not really putting them out there, you know, I don't know, I'm about to give up on this whole YouTube thing. You know, what they're doing just isn't right. Anyway, I know this stuff isn't pro quality or anything like that, and I never tried to achieve that, and that, you know, YouTube was supposed to be for amateurs. But I guess now it's turned into something else. So look, I am on BitChute, and I'll probably start uploading there more often than YouTube, because basically they're just playing too many games. Anyway, all right, let me get to the what I'm doing here, and I'm back on this gazebo here. Now this is the second cover I've had on it, and it's already starting to rip. If you can see it on camera, I don't know, but I'm getting rips in it already. The top piece is getting ripped right up there, I mean all over the place. So what I'm going to do here is, I mean, these things last about a year, right about maybe a month past warranty. Of course, you've got to understand this is Florida, so this stuff is taking a beating. You know, the sun, the UV rays are just too much. So what I've done is, loud trucky, I've gotten some of this polycarbonate stuff. The you know, it's very what do you call it? Oh, good grief, my brain is having a problem here. It's tinted, you know, it's kind of dark, and of course that canopy lets the sun kind of through too. So what I'm going to do is, I got 1x2s and everything, and I'll build a frame on top of the other frame to bolt this stuff down to. Now I'm not going to get too fancy, but the cuts, and this stuff is kind of expensive here. It's like 22 bucks a sheet, which, you know, it's a 12-foot sheet, and I'm just going to need 5-foot sheets. So we'll do that. Make this a project. It'll be ongoing. It'll probably take me, I'm hoping maybe, you know, 4 or 5 days. The heat in the afternoon is pretty bad. The sun is pretty bad. The mornings are cool right now. We just had a cold front. Well, cold front for Florida, which means it's 59 degrees in the morning, Fahrenheit. So don't laugh, you know, this is Florida. And by the afternoon it's getting very hot, so you know, I'll probably just be able to spend the morning for a couple days out here, and maybe, you know, get out there during the day. So my biggest thing right now is to take that down, set up a little work area here with my other canopy. I'll put that up, that pop-up one, and I think I'm going to grab a sheet of aluminum that I have, I think might fit for that top piece, because making it out of that polycarbonate for that little square top vent area is going to be very hard, and maybe the aluminum piece, I can make a couple of cuts and just kind of fold it over and bend it over, and then use the self-tapping screws for that. But I don't know if I have enough of that, or which route I'm going to go. This is kind of seat of the pants. And on a budget, of course, as everything with me nowadays anyway. Unfortunately, you know, when you get to this age and you retire, you don't have a lot of disposable income. So, you know, and I do have to save some money, you know, just in case Ripley there needs any type of medical care, which he seems to be always in need of. He has a lot of problems, so need to save money for that. And I broke a tooth out, and I need to have that fixed once they open that up. So, you know, this is going to be a budget thing, which might be good for other people too, because I think after this lockdown, people losing their jobs, that's about what most people are going to be doing, budget. So, all right, we'll continue this on, and I'll quit yammering throughout the rest of the video, as much anyway. All right, so I'm going to cut it off here, and then we'll get going once I get something accomplished. All right. All right, day 2. I took a sheet of corrugated metal, that's all I really had here, and I bent it. Well, first I had to flatten it. It was corrugated. Then I had to bend it. This isn't the prettiest looking thing in the world, but it'll seal up. I just need to seal the cuts that I made. Of course, nothing fit properly, but I don't think this whole thing is really that square. So, got to caulk it up this morning, and already caulked up the screw heads. So that'll be the deflector for the top. And now we go on doing our framing, getting the wood up there to... God damn, that same truck comes by every time I get on the camera. I swear he's sitting down the road watching. Anyway, I've got to do the framing to where I can put that polycarbonate roofing, or, you know, plastic stuff up there, screw it to. So that will be my my project for the day, and I'll go ahead and film a little bit after I've gotten a little bit more done. It's going to be a hell of a job. I had to buy a 2x8 to rip down, because they don't make any 2x2s or 1x2s even in 10-foot length. And unfortunately, that thing is 10 foot wide, so or 10 foot, you know, on each side. So I have to run one line down at the bottom. The rest of them, the 8-foot 1x2s, will work higher up. So I'll be doing a lot of ripping today, a lot of sawdust. Might as well save it for the plants. All right, that's it for this morning's update. All right, so I've got the lower pieces ripped and notched out and just hung up. Now the other one I got painted, or painting it. I'm going to paint these black so that they don't stick out like a sore thumb, because that what do you call it, the polycarbonate sheets are kind of transparent to a degree, and of course that'll show through the what do you call it, you know, through the covering. Okay, so I've been at it for about 3 hours now, and I think I've had it. There's the one piece painted, notched out for the front, and we will continue on. I'll start installing the brackets to secure it to the frame. All right, day 3, and I don't know if you can see it. I put the skirt back up. I cut the rest of the canopy off it. Looks a lot better like that. Here are the 2x2s I ripped down and everything and mounted, and you'll see that they're up just enough from this to get the curtains and everything to continue moving, and basically I didn't want it too close to the outside edge. It's only a few inches up though. And what I've done is I've put these brackets in there, so the cuts I made were somewhat smaller as 3/4, so I just went an 1/8 inch under. That way when you put the brackets on, it sucks it down. Same thing with the corners. I put these brackets on there. I know my match didn't come along real great, but doing these angles was really a pain in the ass, and it took me a lot longer than I'd anticipated. I figured, you know, a couple hours or whatever, but this whole thing, whoops, tripping on my stuff here. Now the reason these two out here have bigger T-brackets is because the wind is from the due west, which is that side, and this is all the heavy wind, so I went with the smaller brackets here, but nevertheless the screws are the only thing that's going to be holding it in anyway. The brackets, you know, they're they're not going to come loose no matter how big they are, but you know, it's the upward force if you get wind under it. But I'm sure that'll rip the polycarbonate sheet before it'll pull that off of the frame. So, okay, but you can see up here, or can you? I can't. My next run is the 1x2, and I'll go around. That's 1 foot 6 inches up from here, and then I'll make the final one just in front of the overhang up there, go all the way around, because I won't be able to screw into it under that that vent. So there'll be 3 places, and of course none of the top ones are going to be under any kind of force. The real force is coming from the bottom to hold it down on the wind, or from the wind. So this is day 2. I spent probably about 7 hours yesterday making these 4 bottom rungs. That included ripping the 2x8 I had, or whatever it was, 2x10 I think, and notching it out, because they're not, the beams at the bottom on the corners were extenders, which were a 1/2 inch, and the middle one was a 3/4. Now everything's going to be 3/4 for notching. So I constantly had to set the gauge differently. I mean, I tried making all my cuts at once, you know, 3/4 cuts, but you're trying to put a couple up to match up, you know, to the route you're going. Even with measuring, you want to do it, and you see that didn't work out perfect in either way. So and look, this isn't building the Taj Mahal here or anything that needs to support any kind of weight whatsoever. All it is a gazebo cover that had a canvas on it, so this is going to be an upgrade regardless. Anyway, alright, we'll go on today for a few hours. I got burned pretty bad yesterday. It's hotter than hell out here. Got the chills from the sunburn last night, and I don't want that to happen again, so I'm going to get as much done in the morning as I can and then call it quits. Getting to be old, people. Getting to be old. Alright, day 3. I've either greatly overestimated my ability or greatly underestimated the amount of work involved. It's going slow. Of course, I am old and things do tend to go slow. In either case, okay, I've gotten the second run up, trying to get this to stay there, bend it in. That pressure-treated wood does tend to warp, but I've got the last little run done, or to get done today. I've got to put in my T-brackets for the uppers, and then put the top run in, which everything is going to have to be pre-drilled for the screws, because these 1x2s, Jesus Christ, these 1x2s are going to split if I just run the screws in without any type of pre-drilling. So I've got enough left of this 2x10, and I'm going to go ahead and rip it down again. And I hate ripping wood, but it's a messy job, but you have to rip it. I want the 2" by 1.5", which is the 1x2. They call it a 1x2, but it doesn't measure out that. So I need that in order to make my cuts for the same height as the 1x2 and the one previously that I ripped for the bottom layer. So it's going to be a relatively solid setup. In either case, I'm going to get going here because it does get hot quick in the day. I did put up an umbrella inside, but I won't be able to work under that today. Got sunburn on day one pretty good, and gave me the chills during the night, so I know that definitely got me overheated, so I'm going to have to cut this shit out. But after all the wood is up and all the brackets are done, I went to Lowe's. I got the needed extra ones, and you know, this is kind of an ongoing seat of the pants type project, so I couldn't plan out everything ahead of time. In either case, then we'll get ready to lay the polycarbonate sheets, and you know, doing the last one's going to be kind of crazy because you won't be able to work from a ladder through the roof and get at everything, so it's going to and you can't stand on this stuff or kneel on it. It's plastic. So anyway, okay, day 3, we'll continue on. I'll get as much done as I can, and we'll continue it again tomorrow morning and see where I ended up. So, talk to you later again. Okay, thought I'd show you what I'm doing here and how I'm doing it in case anybody has any questions. I scribed the marks on the wood according to the framework, you know, when I hold it up there and everything. And then I make sure I've got my upside up and, you know, down. And then I take this little, hold on, let me move that. That's going to be in the way of the saw. Yeah, I know, I got a workbench coming, but unfortunately it won't be here in time. Anyway, alright, so all I'm going to do with this is scribe it for the depth. The reason I use this battery one is it's a lot more gentle. Okay, do that. Now in the middle pieces here, what I do is, just so I don't have to take a big bite out of this, is I just get some of that wood out of the way. There. And then I use the roto zip with a 3/4 end on it, cutting bit. Okay, there we go. Nice 3/4 inch. That's exactly the size of the frame. And the same will happen for the 2 sides. Just wanted to make a quick video on that in case anybody's wondering how I'm doing this. Okie dokie. Well, another morning here. Alright, I've gotten up yeah, traffic's back in full swing. Alright, I got all 4 runs up now. I need to put in the T-brackets this morning, and then I'm going to start with the polycarbonate sheet. So that came out fairly well. I don't like the 1x2s, but I'm going to have to pre-drill them or they'll split for sure. And I think I'll pre-drill the bigger ones too that I made. I should have ripped I should have ripped ones for the metal too, but I got a little lazy. We'll see how it works. It doesn't have to bear much load. So anyway, there it is. There it is from the outside. You can see it. Let's see if we can zoom in on it a little bit. Okay, so you get the idea. All right, time to get to a little bit of early morning work again. Okay, day whatever, I've lost count. Sheets are going up now. It's looking pretty good. I'm not really too enthralled about the opacity of these panels. Of course, they looked a lot darker in the store, so they do let quite a bit of light through, hopefully with dirt and whatever else over the period of time. They won't if they do let too much light through. I think what I'll do is I'll get some black plastic spray paint and just dust the inside of them real quickly. Yeah, putting black up on a roof isn't the greatest idea. The tinted isn't too bad, but black really attracts the heat in Florida, so I got plenty left to do, and we're going to continue on. That's where we're at so far, and it's coming out okay. I need to think of something here to do for the corners, some type of flashing to put on the corner pieces to cover that up. Not quite sure. I'll have to take a walk through Lowe's and see what they got there. Alright, continuing on. Alright, another day gone by. This is what I've gotten done so far. I've gotten almost all the sheeting up except for each corner. I've had to leave a hole because I've got some 3-inch flashing, white 3-inch flashing, you know, the drip edge on the house, instead of that stuff up there, which is 1.5 inches, I think. You know, they got the 3-inch, and I have to kind of flatten it out because it's at a 45-degree angle, and of course this pitch is not 45, it's I think more of a 15, and I got to figure that out, but I need a way to get up there to screw that to the top beam, and of course you can't step on this stuff. I mean, it's just no way, and I don't think this 1x2 or even these other ones are going to support my 205 pounds to kneel on that to get up there. Plus this metal of the original canopy really isn't that sturdy. Well, it's sturdy enough, but not enough to hold that kind of weight. So every corner I've left a hole. I'm going to have to squeeze up through there and lean over to affix that to the top beam, and then I can shove the other pieces in between. I'll pre-cut them, and then I can just lean over from the outer edge, screw that down. Screwing that down is going to be a weird thing too, because it's kind of at an angle, and you got that peak. And the other problem I'm running into here is that these small end pieces right here, let's see, well, I can't really film, but from here and then going out to a pitch to about here are going to be very flimsy and floppy, so I'll need to figure out a way to hook that up to where it won't flop around and it'll be secure. Those little end pieces are going to be my biggest problem, but I'll figure that out. So yeah, this is where I'm at right now, and I do believe I'm going to take a break here, go slow at it, because I am really sore, worn out, And again, this is going to last a lot longer, but you know, this isn't anything I'm really used to, and my physical condition won't allow me to continually work on this like all day long. So we'll continue on from here, maybe do a little bit today. I need to take care of some other things like shopping and you know, cleaning the house up a little, and I've been the man on a mission here with this thing, and well, look, you know, once it's done, it'll be out of mind. Okay, so we'll continue on. All right, another morning. Getting a late start, had to go shopping, get some other things done, like washing the car for one thing. Anyway, I've got the corner pieces on, and I did mention that that was a 45 originally, and it was a 90-degree bend that I had to open up to roughly a 120. So I don't know what I was thinking about the wood cut, which the wood cut for the beams I put in was a 45 degree and a 15 degree compound cut. So anyway, I will be spraying the inside of this. I got some paint, all-purpose, any type, you know, paint for this. This just isn't, it isn't dark enough. Like I said, the opacity, as you can see, I don't know if that shows up, but it, you're still getting way too much sun, and there it is. So now all I got left to do is the little corner pieces, and I'm hoping that'll go relatively well. And that's it for yesterday. So today, that will be my project. Hopefully I'll get that done, and this will all be over with, because we've got heavy weather coming in on Sunday, and I'd like to have this all buttoned up by then. Plus we got heavy winds coming up, so it'll be a good test. But I mean, just feeling it, it's very robust. Okay, that's it for that. Finally, it is done. There's no we here. Well, Ripley and me, but got the peak caps on. I guess that's what you would call them. And got my little end pieces put in yesterday. I was about to give up halfway through, but this is what I came up with. And don't ask me why I made these angle cuts. I had something else in mind, and I just used the pieces that I cut anyway. Doesn't much matter, but you know, that way it's all holding on very tightly. I think this is all going to be very solid. So yeah, I think I mean, it looks all right. You know, nobody's gonna get too close up and try to inspect the goddamn thing. So there are only a couple of little pieces that kind of aggravate me, because they're not laying flat, and I guess I could put a little tiny screw in there to hold it down. But I think what happened is the angle pieces, which I of course had to bend from the original 90 degree to roughly, I guess that would be about 120 degree. Yeah, something like that. But even at that point, this shouldn't matter too much. Maybe, well, it's at the end and at the edge anyway. So what I did have to do here is, like I said, the opacity of these panels just wasn't that great, And what I did is I gave them a dusting of plastic black paint, not to make it solid black, but you know, it kind of looks like shit in the camera. It doesn't look that bad in life, but when the sun's beating on it, it's almost like very little light tint. Now I know this will make the Lexan or the polycarbonate, same thing. Lexan's just a brand name. It'll make it hotter, but I don't think it'll reach the melting point. I think the melting point is around 500 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll shoot it with a heat gun, but not much I can do about it now. So we had a little bit of rain this morning, and as you can see, the ground, except where I've just been walking around, stayed nice and dry. Now this wasn't a driving wind, and I do need to finish 2.5 panels here of dusting, but right now everything's got dew on it and everything's wet, so I can't paint that. And that's not from the rain, that's just from the dew, the morning dew. But in either case, I think it came out fine. Yeah, this side's got a little bit of a wavy edge, but every place else is straight. I don't know what happened there, but it's laying okay. So, I mean, if you're gonna do a project like this, I would highly recommend using metal. This plastic stuff, I don't know. I mean, it'll probably last years, but I think the metal would have been better. Too late now. And anyway, I'm pleased with it. I'm happy, and nobody's going to be looking at it that closely anyway, so... Okay, another loud one. In either case, yeah, the screws at the end of the peaks there, they look a little funky, but hey, again, like I said, you know, once it gets dirty and a little bit abused, I think it'll kind of blend in. I mean, and nobody's really going to be looking at it that close. People generally don't look on a roof too hard. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of the project. Just got to puff can a little bit more and I'm done. Now we got the rains coming in and high winds, so we'll go through the test. And that's it, people. We'll talk to you later.